All right, let's do the Trade Brigade end of day routine here for Friday, August 7th. Lockout rally in the markets and really nice consolidation actually on the highs after this move. It is a Friday, which means that we do have to update our weekly expected moves. So let's go through that exercise right now. These are the next Friday expiration, August 14th contracts. The expected move is $10.08 on top of and underneath the settlement of 773.26. It's going to bring a bottom right point to 763.18 and a top right point 783.34. This comes out to the 9th. No, it goes further than the 9th. It goes to the 16th. Then this comes to the 9th here. Make this an updated brighter shade of gray. And we go back on over. Bring our dotted lines. This is once again 763.18 on the bottom side, and this goes to the 9th here now. This goes to the 9th here. That's great. Then the top side was what? 783.34. 783.34. Great. Once again on the 9th and on the 9th to start. Beautiful. Now we've got the expected move. This old one can get dimmed back. This is more of a process-oriented video, less a video for analysis, but seem to have some good feedback on the levels updating video last go around. What do we have on the hourly chart? Any hourly level updates up here? It looks like the survey says yes. Got to bring this level up to approximately here, which is around 773.85. That checks out and looks pretty good to me. And so the main idea is, not that we're doing a ton of analysis on this channel, is just, bull flag up and through the highs. Maybe it goes look above and fail, pulls into here, and then we're here for a higher low. If we do just break and go here, I think that's a little bit too obvious, but we'll talk more about it on the main channel. Let's move on over to the Qs. Really constructive week, holding back inside of the prior junk drawer over here. Really constructive day today, higher low over the midpoint of that junk drawer in the daily 50 SMA. But as we made mention, we've got a job to get done, which is firstly updating the weekly expected moves. So on the Qs, it's 1543 on top of and below 723.03. That brings us a bottom right point of 707.6 and a top point of 738.46. Then we'll bring this out to the 16th. This one goes to the 9th. A little bit of color. And then we'll keep going. Let me know in the comments section if you're like, this is stupid, do the expected moves before you update the levels, I don't want to watch this. Or if you're like, no, the full process is cool, let me know. 707.60 on the bottom. And then again, this goes to the 9th and the 9th. Then this upper bound was at 738.46. And that goes out to the 9th and the 9th. Someone left a comment on the previous episode when we did this and said, oh, it's like, I'm looking right over your shoulder as you're updating charts, and that's literally what we're doing here. So I thought that was a great comparison. I'm glad people seem to enjoy that. Anyways, Q's updates are complete there. The hourly doesn't look like it really needs any level updates. Just the midpoint of the junk drawer wants to remain strong, so those 716s will hold. Don't want to get too level happy and add an additional level here. Just want to be paying attention to the range high, 726.50. Let's move on over to the IWM. Let's see what we got going on with small caps over here. So again, another constructive look. All these things just kind of look like bull flags, right, on the right-hand side. But let's go through the process, updating the weekly expected move. Good. It's 515 on top of 301.56 and under, of course, bottom first. That is 296.41. And then on the top, 306.71. Sure. We'll come in here and we'll come in here with the updated dates, and we'll do this, dimming this, or brightening it, I should say, on the new one. We'll update the lower bound of the market maker move there. That is, what did we say, 296.40 what? 41? 41. Good. This can go to the 9th. And this is the final expected move update that we have to do. So it's not like we're doing this for every single stock, right? The top bound was 306.71. That was good. This goes to the 9th. This goes to the 9th. And we keep moving after making this dim, of course. Let's do that. Make this 50% opacity, and we're rocking and rolling. In terms of hourly levels to update, looks like not much. I'm very content with this acting as the arbiter of price, 301.50. Even more constructive above, up and out, or you start to drop it, expect to pull back to the lower bound. And I really like how the low of today's session is pretty much spot on with the opening print of Thursday, so 299.50 stays put. With that, we can jump into some sectors and see how we're making out levels-wise over here. Still looks like a bull flag on the XLE. I like the levels as they are. It's pretty straightforward at 57.10. IGV, little island reversal down here, little abandoned baby, if you will. Really kind of a funky chart, but look at how precise today's range was. If we go to the hourly chart, look at the low of today's bar right into the low of the Wednesday session. So really constructive and no real reason to update any hourly levels. It's looking good here. If we start to take that out in the upward direction, we could maybe just see what this is. Is that close? Is that the high volume close? It is. High volume close on that is 107.70. You can see it right here where it says C. 107.70 as I hold my cursor. So let's just do that. Let's get rid of those 4 pennies. That looks good. That'll be an upside target. All right, IGV done. Levels all set there. XLV looks fine. 3 equal lows sustaining as of right now. Moving average clusters down there. So I like this. This works for me. No real reason to adjust anything there. Financials look good in an uptrend, holding a higher low at the 8. Let's come into the hourly chart. Yeah, I like this. This is fine. No levels to update. Industrials starting on that daily. Looks good to me. Straightforward. Left side peak, trying to act as a higher low over a rising moving average. Looks good. Hourly. Yeah, fine. Opening print sustains. Crisscross here. As long as we're above it, that looks good. I like that hourly level. XLP, still the middle of the range. Let's not overanalyze a range. We move forward. XLUs, this looks like it maybe wants to go a little lower towards this settlement. Let's see what the hourly has for us. No, that's pretty up to date there. We could maybe bump it down. I mean, we're splitting hairs, really, by 5 pennies, but sure, there you go. 43.20. It looks fine to me. Utility, see if they can get off the floor a little bit and at least not break down. They're a defensive sector, though. Mag 7 ETF, this looks pretty straightforward. It's just a flag up here. It's the hourly looking like. Hourly is, again, pretty straightforward. Previous highs acting supportive into today's little curl. It's the upper wicks from the Thursday session. Looks good to me. No real reason to update levels on that. Real estate, lightweight sector. Let's go back to this daily. Just grinding along. The level's pretty straightforward. I don't really think we need to update that. Maybe we just make it 75. Bring it a little bit lower, which is a confluence with that 50 SMA. Hourly, has anything to say about that? Yeah, it's the right thing. It's the right thing to do. Crisscross here. So all set on that front. Let's go on over to XLB. No updates on this. Over the 3-day high is fine, and supporting over the major range high is also still good. Comms. Chart doesn't look fine, but it's the levels are fine. We're staying over the stack where we need to at the 110.50, which is good. Any little nuances on the hourly? If you really wanted to, you could probably strike a level there. I don't want to get level happy on this stuff. I just want to trade the broader range. If this is going to be a double bottom, I mean, you got to show me acceptance above. So we'll keep 112.75. Discretionary, nice improvements. Swiss cheese chart. I mean, look at all these gaps. Look at all the gaps, but really constructive up towards the top of the range, building out some right-hand side. Still would like to see even more, right? It would be great if we could like do this, shake it out, tighten it up, and then you get a higher low like that. But for now, really nice. I don't think we have any level updates here. Maybe we just start turning on some levels that were back above us. Let's simplify this a little bit. That level doesn't look like it's even relevant anymore. Neither does this. It's really whatever that was at the 80s, 121.80s. Let's go back to a daily. Let's go back to a yearly day. Fine. Are we missing any other levels in here? Let's turn this one on. There it is. It's hiding. There we go. That looks good to me. Looks fine to me. Previous highs and a little head and shoulders shoulder mark. Looks good. But for now, right, we really need to resolve this range on XLY. More thoughts and stuff. You know, more concrete analysis, less chart updates over on the main channel on Saturday. Trendline break looks good. Consolidation on the highs. Probably have some hourly levels to update on this thing. It's less about 186, I would say, at this point. I mean, it's still a level, but watch this. Ready? We'll do this. Your 186 is going to go there. That'll stay firm. Yep, that's exactly what we're doing. 186. And then this, see how the level's importance kind of changes as you trade around it? We have a new, more important level, right? So we'll leave it at that. And this probably just take away the 15 cents, and that's fine. We'll get the opening print there. Yep, perfect. So that's that. Great. And higher, do this. Expect the chop a little bit more, but not end of the world, right? There it is. Looks fine. Let's move forward to this SMH, another Swiss cheese chart over here. Really nice day. I mean, you got to give that a little credit, staying over that 568 spot. Let's go on over to the hourly. You know, I mean, we could really, really pick this thing apart with levels and get really granular. You could do something that looks like this. Just always remember what your objective is with the chart. You know, what's your objective? Are you trading the SMH, or are you just using this as a gauge for the market? If you're just using it as a gauge, you probably don't want to get too granular. If you are trading it, then, you know, you want to be a little bit more precise. So I would leave that be. Let's just double check that actually on the left side. How important is this? Not important. That's coming off. How about that? How about that? This chart is it's a little overwhelming with all the levels on it, but again, if we're trying to use it as an objective to understand what semiconductors are broadly doing, you know, over this little range high, taking back these rejection points there makes a little bit more sense. You know, you could see this. So I like that. Little reasonable update there on the SMH. Very level heavy chart though. Let's go over this DRAM, see what the DRAM chart has. Memory is not so hot. Maybe you're still getting a daily high or low, but let's clean this thing up. This thing needs some work. The gap is more so closed, but that's still a key inflection point. So what we do is this. This becomes the gray dot. This just goes bye-bye. And it's almost not even worth, you know, suggesting that there's a piece of unfilled gap there. You could have it on, and I wouldn't call you unreasonable, but it probably just ends up looking like this, honestly. That's maybe the way I would frame this chart. Because, I mean, what are we doing here? Are we actively producing a trend in this box? Survey says no. So in terms of what what I want the levels to tell me is, like, where does the trend change? We get a higher high here, or we get some sort of disastrous breakdown underneath the left side low there under 4650. So I like that. That chart kind of gives me enough information to work from. All right, so that's the sectors, and that's the sort of broad market stuff. Let's jump into the individual companies and see what we got from a levels perspective. NVIDIA looks great. I really would like to see a pullback, right? I don't know if we're going to get that. It's like asking for the broad market spiders to come back to 760, but that would be the best outcome here. What do the levels have to say about that? This probably just moves a smidge lower, 222 flat. Does that work? It's even a little bit lower than that. 221.75 will do. There it is. And we probably could start reducing some of these levels down here. I always like to do this just to get rid of some of the visual noise on the chart. You know, like some of those sector charts are actually starting to get overwhelming, which is not a good thing. That is not good. You just want a few levels to focus on. That's it. Apple looks great into the gap. So probably a similar treatment where we go down into this hourly and just say, you know, it's key level, but it's more relevant here now. So let's just make it shorter. 75, and we can go dim on that just because we're not sure yet if it's a firm lower high or if we're going to accelerate above. But I like this. This is no longer top of the gap. It doesn't need to be yellow. That's the top of the gap. And because the gap is still a substantial size, I will make this yellow, even though it's fairly close to that gray dotted line. So that looks good to me on Apple. Pretty straightforward. Microsoft, gaps galore. Honestly surprised that this tried to go over 500 today. I really wasn't thinking it could stick. On the hourly chart, what do we have in terms of levels? This is a little rising wedge. I hate rising wedge patterns. I'm really not a fan. The fact that that's wedging. It just makes our job difficult in terms of, you know, which highs do we want to respect? Which highs do we not want to respect? 500 is a good psychological level, so I think what I'm most inclined to do is put 500 on there. Let's get rid of this. We just want to have the most relevant, nearest levels, not 50, 500, on the chart here. So 500 is key. And then, you know, you lose these lows. I think, I don't want to say like bad things are bound to happen, but that seems like a pretty obvious inflection point there. Start taking that out, and you probably start heading towards, there we go, the gap, you know. So I would leave it like that. Yeah, it looks fine to me. What's the yearly looking like? Oh, that was such an important shelf. But it's look at how it's right there. Right, just extend this to the left. It's the same thing. 488.25. Okay, fine. Moving forward to Amazon. Let's go back to the shorter time frame. Nice rejection right off the previous all-time high. I wasn't really watching Amazon today. More in the semiconductor space, but yeah, this looks fine. This looks fine. Probably worth firming this up just because it's been we've been trading above that low for at least a day or two now. So if we break it, it'll be a more meaningful, or should be, more meaningful response to the downside. If you wanted a gray line in between to split the difference, you could. I'm not going to do that. Let's go Google. Check the daily. Losing the 50. So really nice rally and a bunch of headlines, right? Oh, the leadership's kind of leaving DeepMind, and if this just wants to turn on a dime and engulf this little red bar, I would be very impressed. This would be an awesome high or low. Get everybody all bullish, and then say, oh, it's not good anymore. Everybody's all bearish, just to set a daily high or low. So I really like this 358 spot, but you need to see the candle structure turn around. Anyways, again, we'll save the analysis components for the main channel video, but level updates. Probably stays as is. I would have to remind myself how important is this low in here. It's the 20 SMA. I think I would opt to just remove this 351. It's thin structure. Look at this, right? Thin structure. Didn't respond to it in there. So I'd remove that and just let the 20 SMA light the way and just keep it simple that way. I'd try to simplify this chart a bit. That looks fine to me. All set. Next, Broadcom. Looks great. Come on into the gap. The water is fine. Don't want to start reducing too many of the downside levels. Broadcom is known to fail here. Seems like it, quote unquote, this time's different, right? Seems different, but we'll see if we can accelerate through the gap. That's really all there is to focus on in this one. Excuse me. You could probably firm this up as something like that, previous left side highs. But that's it. That's it. This one's easy. We just watch for the grind higher, and any higher lows over 405 would be ideal if it pulls back. Right, so levels all set here. Moving along to this metaverse. What do we have on the verse? Let's go to that daily first. I like the inverted upper wicks. I like this rejection of 600. I like the rejection of the 50 SMA. This is kind of the main idea I still have for it, so I think we keep it simple. I don't think there's a single thing to update in terms of levels. Just let the bull flag fail. Everybody's like, oh, it's got to be higher. And maybe it is, but my preference would be Meta and Zuckerberg don't know how to hyperscale, and we're under 580, 50 in a hurry. So we'll watch that next week. Next up, MU, Micron. Let's go to this daily, try to get some clarity here first. Not good. Not good. Could not hold over 900. So I don't like the location of price, but I still have to give it some credit sustaining these higher lows in here. What do we want from a levels perspective? Almost too many things going on. But it kind of has to stay the way it is. Either we respect 850 still and we remain consolidating and potentially trying for higher over 900, or you fail 900, the door is open up under 850. So I like the levels. The levels are fine. Have to respect that. Have to respect the midpoint of this range. I mean, just look at how many inflection points were there, right? So the level stays the level. As much as I want to reduce the visual noise on the chart, it's a key level, right? You can't ignore key levels just because you want a cleaner chart. Anyway, MU done. Let's go to Tesla. Nice daily cup and handle, little cup and handle down here on the lows, breaking out today on volume. Nice. Come on, Tesla. Let's take a look at the hourly chart. This one always requires, any earnings gap that does something like this requires some work like this. But let's see. This probably stays as is, 325.75. This stays at 319. Honestly, it stays as is. It stays as is, but what I would do is probably just firm this up. I'll graduate it, if you will, into a firm white level like that. So that's fine there. And eventually, depending on how this resolves, this will probably also get firmed up at 319. Moving forward to JPM, we could probably say goodnight to this level. Push that one back. Good. And we could probably say that this looks fine. The levels are leveling. Support, resist, it looks good. Looks good. No real challenge or change on the daily. AMD, a lot of levels on this chart, but once again, kind of all relevant, right? You go to the hourly chart and suddenly you think to yourself, well, we need 507. That's the huge overhead supply. You can see this clear as day. It's crystal clear there. This is crystal clear here as a low. These two lows, crystal clear. So as much as I want to reduce some of the noise on this chart, the levels are leveling, and we will just let that be. Let's go on over to Intel. Nice hold of 100 today. Let's go back to this daily. Yeah, this looks good. Look at the lower wick over the rising moving average. Now the 8 in cyan there. Break of a 3-day high goes to the 50 perhaps, question mark. That could be a long trade, options wise early next week. Day trade at first and then let the swing, if it's going to set up. Any hourly level updates though? How's this resolving the 100? It's actually right to it. The crisscross is right on 100. We'll let it be. The moving averages are doing all the other work, right? So we'll let that be. This is fine. This is fine. I mean, one thing you could maybe argue for is if you wanted to reduce a little bit of visual noise, you could do this and just bring this to about, we'll go with the 75 mark on this one. We'll leave it white as well. Nah, yeah, do we? No, we don't. We bring it into a gray, and that's good. Yeah, that works for me. Right, over the 3-day highs. Let's go. And that's it. That's the core list of companies, which means now it's time to jump into the scanner. Let's hit the big scan and make note of anything that's interesting. Thanks for sticking through the core list stuff on a Friday. Let's let that liquid leader load, and we'll start taking some notes here as we go through. A little bit of a sip of the agua, and then we'll get going. Why did that not filter? There it is. Okay, here we go. Let's rip through them. These are newer IPOs, so they don't have a lot of price history. Nothing to really do with those. This SpaceX really woke up. I mean, we have to watch this. We have to watch this. How could you not, right? Look at the volume coming in. Everybody thought it was a short on the lockup expiration. Yeah, let's do a little bit of chart cleanup on the SpaceX. That was a pretty straightforward level here. Yeah, it's this. It's right there. 117.50s is the level on a deep pullback. What's this left side peak? Yeah, this is where we started to struggle. Probably worth just noting. It'll go dim though. It's not a super important level because we closed through it, but we'll do that. And then really it's just the IPO forecast stuff beyond that. So we'll let that be. Okay, so SpaceX is going to get written in as any high or low checkbacks. It's built the base. Is it time to flag out and maybe start reclaiming some key levels? SPCX, undeniable volume. Volume. As we get lockup expiration. Good. All right, let's keep moving. Palantir, Ripper today. Just an absolute beast. Right, really nice out of this. Gap and go. Got to keep it on watch. PLTR. Have to keep this on watch over 162.65. I don't really think we need to put the gap on there. We can if we really need, if you want to, you could. You just do a little bit of this. Then you do a little bit of this. And pull it down. That's good. Yeah, I like 10. That works. And the reason this is so cool is if you look at the hourly, or sorry, the 1 year daily, this is breaking out of a flat top base. I mean, it was very quick. Ideally, this would have built some right-hand side and then gone, but very, very quick over the flat top highs on volume, earnings gap and go. Pretty strong. Reclaim of the 200. A lot of things going for this chart here. So I like what I'm seeing. Another big inflection point would kind of just start, we'll see what that looks like intraday there and then up here. Kind of the next major spot, right? We'll have to refine as the days go on, but that's kind of what I'm seeing for now in terms of levels there. Let's hit this with that. And let's just check that intraday. Yeah, look at that. Right where it slowed down with the cross, right? So nice. Very nice on that Palantir. Okay, back to scanning. Let's go to a 3-month just to look for interesting price. Dell, I was involved in HPE. Dell would have been just as good off the 50. So it's still a leader. So Dell, still a leader off of the 50 SMA. Great. Next. ServiceNow, nice gap up, but nothing for me to really do with it there. There's no setup. ANET needs to support this area. If we can get look below and fail of the 8 on ANET. That might be interesting. Datadog got crushed on earnings. This does not look good. This looks really heavy. This looks like it wants lower. So I don't know if I'm shorting Datadog here as the market's trying to lift as a top priority. I'd rather just try to find the longs and go with the broad market. CrowdStrike looks great. Awesome high or low. Probably through these highs could be buyable, but it's not a tight enough setup. And I already own PanW, so I'm going to leave that be. Shopify remains on the radar, building out an earnings range. Let's say shop. Still building the ER range after S1 break. Stage 1 break is what S1 stands for. Snowflake really strong. One of the more recent, most successful breakouts in the upward direction. Nice job to anybody involved in that. Accenture looks good here if you're into healthcare. Or sorry, Accenture, is that soft? I can't remember. Accenture? Software. UiPath, higher. Looks good. Looks great. Still actively want to keep that one on the radar. So let's say Path. Still need to watch for new daily DHL setups. DHL stands for daily high or low if you're curious. Fig Newton, no thanks. Nope. HPE, long this already. It's just going to be on watch naturally for that reason, but HPE, let's say more hammers over the 8. Look good. Great. Keep moving here. Nope. Tom Lee, not the drummer boy, but Tom Lee looking good there. Oh boy. Ethereum, huh? What else is happening? Trump Taser's got to rally back. Nice gap up on team. ER. Watch list. Add. Okay, let's keep moving. Wayfair, a little less interested in this one. I mean, it is a nice base. Doesn't really have a nice history of moves. If I'm not mistaken, team has a decent history of moves way back. If we just go digging for it. That's pretty nice on an earnings gap and go. Even before then, breaking out of this tight range, pretty nice over here. Some nice segments of price action on that. Let's go even further than 5 years, just to double check. This run up back over here, really nice. I mean, it went from 312 to a high of 475s, roughly. I mean, nice movement out of this base. We'll see if it wants to do something worth respecting. Anyways, Wayfair, look at how choppy, right? All over the place. Not as good. Moving forward. Cognizant. Looks great still. It's a little micro cup and handle. Still below the 200 though. Okay. Let's keep pushing through. Wow, Unity really waking up. Really waking up. Maybe just on the TTD weakness, I suppose, and their own strength from earnings. TTD, have to put that on watch. Big move. Oh, not TTD, my God. Unity, big move up. And now needs setups. Great. ZS, looking good out of this little micro cup and handle as well. So that'll remain in the neighborhood of watch lists. No thanks on CDW. Let's go back to this smaller time frame, shorter time frame, I should say. Keep scanning through. Guardant Health is it's been on the watch list, in and out. What else is going to catch our attention? Zeta, of course. Probably a top small, let's say performance booster watch, right? This thing's violent and volatile. It's got a 7 ATR, really sharp move on earnings. If it can just hold this left side peak, which it is doing, maybe it's higher. We'll see. So I like that Zeta. NTRA, big earnings gap. This is part of the genomics, yes, but just call it medical theme, biotechnology theme. Really nice out of this cup, handle, gap up, NTRA. Strong for the healthcare segment. And like a lot of these earnings things, just because I put them on a watch list doesn't mean that they're actionable tomorrow or Monday, I should say. But like we just have to keep an eye on this. How could you not, right? It's a textbook cup with handle, hot theme, XBI, genomics, the whole 9 yards. and trying to move higher, right? So how could you not watch it for some attempt at a move? It's got a decent ATR, 5%, right? We're only going to get good ATRs. That's the whole point of this scan. But anyway, IT, big move up. Still struggling at the 200. Less interested in that. Amba, I think that was a buyout from NXPI, if I'm not mistaken. Not as interested in treating that as a natural. Look at this elf. The Looks Maxers. They're at it. We have a Looks Max in ETF yet? Fastly retesting the left side peak at 22. Not bad, but it needs more structure. Retesting that area, you know. Rubric, another good one in the cyberspace. I already own PanW. I could put more on. I prematurely trimmed some PanW, but anyway. Twist still looking good. Chime has to be on a watch list somewhere. Let's watch the ER range develop. Good. This thing still looks great. Earnings range literally in development right now. Pacey. Big earnings gap up. How's this thing look? Decent base. I'm just going to start writing ER gap up. Man H was also. We'll add any of those to it. P-Core, no, that was not a gap up. I thought I might have missed one more. Chime we already have. I guess that's just add to the earnings gap up list. Chime. There we go. And I'll filter that list with any of the other ones. Like Team, for example. I guess I'm doing it now. Okay, good. Palantir is already going, so Palantir will require new setups, but these ones are building out ranges. Okay, moving forward. We were on Pacey. Good. Little base down here on this floor and decor. I still don't know what to make of that. It's not really thematically relevant. I think it doesn't really have a good history of trending, so I'm going to leave that off. Shake Shack. Food names have been really strong recently. Shake Shack with a little wake up bar on earnings. It's not an earnings gap up, but Shack is similar to what I would do with Zeta. In terms of classification. Okay, moving forward. This is not, no. Gold on the labor report today, it's not the same. Snapchat, I mean, you could if you wanted to, but I prefer the other one so far. We are in negative territory, by the way, now. On the liquid leader scan. Kato's gapping up, but again, look at this yearly chart. This thing's brutal. Could it wake up here? Maybe, but the other ones are waking up over better bases, right? And I'll have to like double check that and make sure that that's actually true for all of those, but that's why I'm not adding that to the list. Redwire, I mean, it's trying. We'll see. Enphase, Solar kind of woke up a little bit with the FSLR stuff, but not in love with the look of these charts. This is good. This reminds me of a Teradyne. AEIS, similar to a TER setup. Holding the 50 SMA. I'm trying to get them all. Yeah, SMA, we'll just write it. I was trying to get them all in one line in the text box, whatever. It's not that important. Powell Industries. We miss you, Jerome Powell. Come on back. Tempest, not quite doing it yet. All the steel stocks kind of look similar. Nice pullbacks into the rising 8. Still looking here for only the best names. The watch list, I mean, this is not a watch list of everything that's ready for tomorrow, but it's a watch list of things that we should be paying attention to. Right? You don't want to overwhelm yourself with so many things that you can't keep track of it all, but you should have a good idea of the right things that are moving around. And also, this list will help us navigate, like, what is the theme? It could be chart theme. It could be theme as in, healthcare versus semiconductors versus equipment, right? Power. What is the theme? All the stuff we write down hopefully should help us start to crystallize what the relevant theme is. I'm just looking at this for a second. I like the reclaim of 156.40s. Really would prefer a shakeout towards the 20-day and the range low if I was going to try to participate in this invent. I think it has a really nice... Yeah, this is actually just okay. It's not that linear. Look how choppy this is. I get it. It's up, right? But it's not linear. It's like one day up, one day down, one day up, one day down, one day up, so on and so forth. It's not like you just had a nice string. There's a little bit here, but kind of a tough look. So I think I'm going to pass on that in terms of a write-in. Wow, Twilio. Put that on the list. Earnings gap up. Twilio. Good. Sedge. No dice there. Earnings gap down. Ugly. SIDM needs more sideways for a higher low, right? Build out right-hand side, and then you have a low cheat. Low cheat can build after more sideways. No, moving average cluster. I mean, you could maybe argue it could be long through 59.50. I have levels here for a reason. I guess previous left side peak, reclaim. No, I wouldn't. That's not it. Moderna. Okay. mRNA. Waking back up for a foxhole. Just when you think it's over, it's right back in play. Notice how this red body bar did not take out the lows of the little consolidation. So we'll watch that on Monday. As long as it doesn't gap up. Ouch, Akami. MongoDB. Very frustrating chart. Nothing to do with it yet. It's probably a short there on Semtech. Declining 50. Overhead supply. What else is in here? Quantums were strong today in the backs of Rigetti's earnings. See if the White House starts Q posting again. That'd be fun. FSLR, there's that gap up, but just kind of fading off. I mean, it seems like it's undeniable volume starting to come into this thing. It's not a setup. There's no setup here. Oof. Trade desk. Just delist this thing already. FPS with a little inverted head and shoulders. Power solutions. Power solutions are kind of a decent theme right now. Left side peak. Pretty linear here. See the difference? Like this is a few days up, then that's like, woof, that's the payday right there. You hold for that. It's trying to do the right things. FPS, trying to do the right things. FPS. $36.5, fine. Whoa, no thanks. AEHR tightening up over the 50. It's just like Teradyne, right? Come on, Matt, type. There we go. 50 SMA there on AEHR. As long as that holds, that looks good. Honestly, the best entry tactic, I think, would be a look below and fail. You know, set a daily high or low. Him's trying to set up there. It's trying real hard. Got earnings, though, so we're just going to have to wait for earnings. Carvana, I mean, for what it's worth, it's building out a little base in here. More right-hand side would be great. So it's not ready to be written down yet, but it's probably going to keep showing up on the scan. CleanSpark, terrible. A lot of these WAGMI names do not look good. WAGMI meaning the data centers crypto miners turned data centers do not look good. CLSK, APLD, Cypher, Hut, Riot, speaking of the devil. They don't look good. Flex, no good. Dawkins interesting. I would have preferred a slightly better close today, and then through 129.35 would have been better. I don't know if that's in play. Really low volume though. Let's just say it's like low priority Dawkins. 129.35 is the level. It's a look below and fail, right? Whoa. Let's we don't need all that. Just this. Boom, right there. That's the number. It's the earnings gap up, right? Moving forward. Roblox, no. Tower, was that Tower Semi? Tower Semi yearly chart? I mean, it's not bad. I don't think it's ready. It's too wide still. It's not, there's no tight bar here, but this is starting to do something. You might be tempted to buy that off the 200 SMA, but it's in a downtrend. It's not a foxhole. Oops, let's get clicking. There we go. HUT looks terrible like APLD and the other ones we just saw. The Sienna looks very compelling. Even if it's just a break into the 50 and then short it at the 50. Sienna, it's tight enough action, right? That's what we're looking for. We look for tight price action. CIEN. Tight action against the 820 combo. Okay. Quantum's woke up. There's no denying that. Tight action here on this Ondas. Earnings next week, though, so just be aware of that. SoFi looking good for a bull flag. Shout out Endorphin. AXTI. So much for getting slapped off the daily 50. Reddit back into the earnings gap. It's not really a setup, but we'll see if that wants to come back into like the 50 SMA or something. A lot of damage on that CLS chart. Got a lot of questions about this one, which, you know, rightfully so. It was trying to reclaim over here. It was looking pretty constructive until this gap down. SMCI, just to go back to it, looks good, but I don't think, not interested with all the fraud. Not interested. All it takes is one headline. That thing's stuffed. The list is long enough already, basically, is what I'm saying. Teradyne, another little look below and fail. Still interested. Good. That would set a daily higher low, right? The big thing here to just continue to point out, and I'll talk about it over and over and over again, is just that it did not make a lower low on the gap down from earnings, right? Did not make a lower low on the Leo liquidation. None of that. Right here. Higher low over this neckline. Looks constructive to me. So I'll be watching that 380 spot still. Rocket Lab earnings, but starting to wake up a little bit. Credo looks great. Cerebrus got long this one with a little bit more size today. So, I mean, I'm biased, but I think it looks good for higher. You got little higher lows stacking in here, and you're over the moving average set. We'll see what earnings do to it. Ideally, we have enough cushion to hold through earnings, and perhaps, you know, something like that. That's optimistic, and of course biased because I own it long. But moving forward, Coherent waking up as well, like that AXTI, AAOI earnings, right, with the gap up. It's responsible for a lot of that stuff. But undeniable reclaims of moving averages. Qualcomm not really doing it. A little bit weaker, still just in a big downtrend, right? Robinhood, inverted hammers, doesn't look good. Look at that holy trinity right there. Daily 20, 250. Wow. If it could have rallied a little bit more firmly and rejected that intraday, it would have been a screaming short. What else in here? ARM. Yeah. GEV, nope. A-Lab. Getting tight. Getting tight. I don't know where the... I don't see an entry yet here, but it is tightening. I like the consolidation that's starting to step up. CoreWeave. I still am a little bit more of a fan of the short side on this one. Probably nothing ahead of earnings in terms of new positions. GLW looks like a short to me. Rejecting the overhead supply. I'll write that one in. GLW looks short. under the 169 overhead supply. Good. Irene looks long, honestly. That's never thought I'd hear those words coming out of my mouth, but that doesn't look half bad. Daily high or low, look below and fail here on the Leo bottom. It's either long or you're patient and you short it here at the declining moving averages. That's it. Those are the two outcomes on this one. So what is this? Irene? Either short term long into 47.5 or patient for the short against the declining MA stack. Okay. Oracle looks great for a bull flag. We were talking about this one today, and it closed perfectly. You could even classify it cup and handle, right? Something like that. Looks really good over that 147.35s. I like that quite a bit. Over 147.35. Good. Okay. Lamb research. Tight. I like Oracle better, if I'm being honest. That may be a silly thing to say, but you're still above an upward or flattening 200 SMA here. I don't know. Take it, leave it. It's just tight action. Tight action off a key level. Applied materials, tight action. Earnings. Light. Kind of looks like a short if you fail these prior highs, honestly. I'd stick with GLW, though. Marvel nailed the short on that this morning, and then I think a lot of the group flipped long as I was getting out of the short towards the lows. Good going. So, yeah, I think we let that be for now. I don't see it personally. I see look above and fail opportunity, but undeniable response off the lows today. I'd go with Oracle perhaps first. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. MRVL. Let's just put it on the list. Does it go higher now? Question mark. Over 218.33? Let's say 35. Round numbers only. STX. A little bit of a choppy chart here. What I like about this is it's one of the, again, maybe call me a little crazy here, but it's one of the memory names that is basing more solidly. Look at this versus there. I mean, here they are at the bottom, right? Actually, here's WDC. Looser. Here's your range. It made a new low on earnings, right? Go look at MU. This is a lower low here. This is maybe a higher low, but just, you draw that same box and you're not even close to being as clean or constructive. SanDisk is the same thing. Where is the box, right? What are we doing here? You look at your STX, right? This is like, oh, I see it. It's very obvious, right? So we'll see. A look below and fail of these two lows, set a daily higher low, maybe. Is memory dead? Maybe. Do we get involved? I don't know yet. It's not really offering a setup, but I do just like how kind of segmented this box is here. Anyway, Bloom Energy, no setup here, wide and loose. NBIS, no setup here yet. Maybe a daily higher low starts to get developed, but earnings, Intel, AMD, SanDisk, we just looked at all this stuff, which means we're at the bottom of the watch list. Because it's a Friday, I do like to throw in the $100 million volume scanner over here. See what this returns in just a second, if anything. And if it's nothing, then we will just leave it at that. Let's give this a little bit of a refresh, perhaps. Sometimes on Thinkorswim, if you run a different one, then come back to it and say, try again, it may return some names. We'll see. If it doesn't, then I'll just call it there. And I'll run it on my own time, probably Sunday night. Anything? Yes, no, maybe so. Thinkorswim says, no, not doing it. Oh, there we go. Would you look at that? All you have to do is, give it a little threat. All right, let's get into some of these. Dave, ouch. Ouch, 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 ouch. Breaking the 50 there. That's a tough look. First break of the 50 means that we should probably have that on a short watch list somewhere where when and if, maybe it goes a little bit lower first or whatever, but when and if it retests the 50, that'll be a nice short potentially. So let's say Dave. Let's put a little gap in here. Say Dave, potential short against 50 SMA after break. Good. IoT breaking out. That's nice. That's nice on the daily. Yeah, nice base in here. Let's say notable weekly base. Not interested in this. A lot of these things we can buzz through a little bit faster. AMC, honestly, in a vacuum looks good, right? Your earnings high volume close was the low today. I mean, pretty impressive. AMC high volume close was the low today. Hammer. Forming a daily higher low hammer. Okay, good. GWRE looks great. Look at this. Look at this. This is awesome. Tight action on this, but pharmaceutical company, so no thank you. Say no to drugs. DocuSign. They're signing the Iran MOU with DocuSign. That's the running. It's the latest I've heard, at least. So, not really ready for that yet. Hinge Health. Wow, impressive rally through here. Impressive. Very impressive move. Up 11% today. Incredible. Add that to the momentum watch list, perhaps. Court. It's a biotech. GitLab still looking good. Over the base, right? GTLB on the gap up. Good. Wow. Doximity. Crazy gap up. Not as interested in that to add to the gap list. FIVN 5.9. Don't know what that's all about. I know F5. That's cyber, but 5.9 not familiar. A little bit more picky with some of this stuff that's not as liquid. I mean, nice move here, but how do we enter it now? Needs to set something up. I'd rather play, you know, like a CRML or a UAMY, USAR if the rare earths are going to wake up again, and if they properly set up. There's no random buy on them, of course, but I'm just saying those names have had a decent move history. This AUR is starting to wake back up as well. Don't hate it. I don't hate it. Frog. Did the deal on earnings, closed the gap, and wicked right off the MA stack. Incredible. It'll show up on the scan again if it's going to be worth watching. Anything else down here in the belly of the beast? That's it. That's the bottom of the list. App down there. Okay, we scrounged up a few extra things just to make sure we're still aware of them. But that is it. That is going to do it for today's Trade Brigade end of day routine. That is our typical end of day. That's literally what we do at the end of every single day. We do it with the group when it's the week. On Fridays, I do it by myself. And I figured maybe I would share out the Friday over here on the YouTubes. And that way, if anyone's crazy and wants to watch the full thing, they can. If you know, let me know. Is this, I got some pretty positive feedback on the first one, but still worth doing? Should I just record my weekend process here and upload it? Or is this just a waste of time? So I got to do it anyways. Figured maybe I would share it with the world. Of course, check out the main channel. Check out whatever you want to check out. Linked down below or not. Doesn't bother me. And I hope you're having a great trading year. I hope the process is maybe enlightening or offers you something in the background as you're going through your own process and you'd like to hear some market related commentary. So have an awesome weekend and a green trading week ahead. And as always, we'll see you in the next one.